Hello and welcome back everyone. Andy Bryan here from The Soul Pathway, and today within this video I wanted to speak with you all about our collective spiritual journey and soul pathway and the grand awakening that we are all experiencing right now, because it's quite evident that there is so much going on in the world right now, and it's hard for each and every one of us to keep up with it all, to be honest. But within this video I wanted to speak with you about our spiritual journey in relation to our soul pathway as we awaken to who we are and as we rebirth this new world. Because it may look slightly scary right now. We can be worried or concerned about what the future holds. But when we come to understand what is happening, we can be much more content and at peace with ourselves and the journey that is unfolding before us. So I'm going to be going through this in relation to my soul pathway process, so you can understand that in relation to your individual journey as well as the collective journey as a whole. But what I will say at the start of this video is that it doesn't matter what your beliefs are right now with what is happening. But what it does matter is that you have an open mind about what it is that we're experiencing, so we can collectively work together to transform and change the world around us. So I'm going to start off with our old self. When we look at our old self, we look at our old conditions, patterns and behaviours. What's shaped us into the people we are today? We look about that individually. Now, we also need to look at that collectively right now, don't we? So collectively, we have to think about what has led us into the situation that we are right now. The systems that have been in place, the structures that have been in place for many, many years, the patriarchal systems. All these systems at the moment have governed the way that we live our lives. And at this current point in our lives and in our evolution, these systems are crumbling and are falling by the wayside. And there are many people, with regards to political leaders or those people that are holding these systems together, are trying to grasp as much as they can to keep control of the systems that are governing us. And I feel that is why we are experiencing a lot of the things that we are right now, whereby we have so many rules and restrictions and regulations, because they are still trying to confine us into these old ways of living and being. And we know that they aren't working anymore. They're not serving us. And this is why we're looking at new ways of living and being. My slight concern is that as these old systems and constructs fall by the wayside, is that we don't have other systems that can come into play to support us through this transitional phase of our evolution. But I'm going to speak to you about that a bit more a little bit later. So we have our old self with regards to the collective and all those old systems crumbling. And then we go through this phase of self-inquiry. And I believe each and every one of us has gone through that phase of self-inquiry right now. If you haven't been awakened to the world around you, well, this great awakening has no doubt awakened you in some way or form. If you haven't questioned the world around you before, maybe this is a point in your life where you have started to question everything. What has gone on around you, and also what has gone on within you. And as you begin to question, you start to realise the world isn't as it seems. People have just painted a picture of what life is. That doesn't mean it's real. It's a fabrication, it's a visualization. And people have painted this picture for us for a long, long time now. And it's time for us to change that vision. It's time for us to change that future. But when we go through that phase of self-inquiry, or soul awakening, sorry, I've stepped one phase too far forward, because the next phase is that phase of self-inquiry. Now, when we step into that place of self-inquiry, when we look at Joseph Campbell's hero's journey, and this, my soul pathway process was evolved from Joseph Campbell's hero's journey. In fact, I studied his work for over 10 years and I found it absolutely incredible, but I realized that I needed to create my own process, which was the birthing of this soul pathway. But that self-inquiry was known as that refusal to cool in Joseph Campbell's world, where people refuse to embark on this new journey through fear, through doubt, through limiting beliefs, or not feeling worthy or good enough. Now, collectively, that is also happening right now. And this is what we have to get a grasp of, each and every one of us. Because I shifted it to the phase of self-inquiry instead of this refusal to cool, because I believe we're in a new phase of our evolution where we don't need to so much be governed by fear, but we can acknowledge it. So as we go through this phase of self-inquiry, it's essential for each and every one of us to question everything. Question what is going on in the external world and the world that is going on within us. And as we start to question, then what we need to do is think about where we want to move forward individually and collectively. What systems are you living by that you want to support? Are there systems that you feel do not support you as an individual or even support us collectively? And that's when you need to ask yourself, do you want to move forward in this way? Because we need to look at ways whereby we can move forward with grace, passion, vigor, in a way that we can birth a new world. You know, the dawning of a new world is coming, but we need to be the ones in order to create that. So myself, yourself watching this video, and so many other people that are aware of what is going on right now, instead of being doubtful about what it is that we're experiencing and unsure about the world that we're living in right now, we have to think about ways in which we can create new and evolving systems that can support each and every one of us moving forward. I'm a lover of self-sustaining communities because I believe self-sustaining communities is where we can thrive and live in this beautiful new world. Big fan of Michael Tellinger's Ubuntu project. The Ubuntu project was all about a value-based economy and how we can truly support one another and rise together. In a community like that, we can really think about, you know, what we bring to the world. You have your unique gifts. You have your unique purpose. And it's essential that you find that. Why? Because when you find your purpose, when you find your gifts and you give that back to the world, that is when you build your community of people that can also support themselves and provide a value to you. So this is where we begin to work together. But that phase of self-inquiry is really trying to understand what are those old systems that have been in play that we need to move away from in order to birth this new world. Because as we move away from this place of self-inquiry, what we tend to go through is meeting our mentors, meeting people that can guide and support us through this time, that can help us step away from that place of fear, to help us transcend our consciousness and awareness, you know. And the phase of transcendence is really looking about how we can start putting these new structures into place, these new ways of living and being, and working collectively to create this new world. Because we can't do it alone. However much I love to work on my own and help other people, I believe we need to look at how we can collectively work together. But the phase of transcendence is all about transcending together. And as we transcend together, we build these new systems, these new patterns, we create this new world, and we start to realize what is possible. Because possibilities are endless. We have to ask ourselves how we can begin to do that, though. And this is all about working together in this new way. You know, it's not about thinking about this new normal and adopting this new normal, because we know the old normal never worked. The new normal, which they're trying to put into place, isn't going to be working either. But we need to create our own new normal. We need to decide what that is. So you have to find your gifts, I have to find mine, and we have to give that back to the world so that we can build a value-based economy and community where everyone thrives. And as we begin to do that, we create a place of unification, and unification is where we all come together and stand together and be as one. You know, love, light, shadow, wholeness, and beauty. We need to realize that wholeness exists within each and every one of us, and we can all experience it. But again, we all need to be part of creating that. And this is where we live by our higher self and soul pathway, the final phase of our spiritual journey. But as you go through this, you know, you start to realize that when we reflect upon our phase of transcendence, as we transcend our consciousness and awareness, it's also that road of trials in Joseph Campbell's hero's journey. What is that road of trials? That road of trials is those trials and tribulations that we'll face each and every day. The old systems and constructs that we still have to deal with on a daily basis are those road of trials. They're those stepping stones. And with each stepping stone we need to cross over. We need to embark on a new way of living. And we need to say, look, these old systems aren't working, and these are new systems that I'm going to put into place because I want to see a new and beautiful world. But we have to work together in order for us to create that. So that is where I believe we are right now, collectively, on this journey together. But we need to know and realize that the journey is the destination. And we need to live in the moment each and every day in all different ways, all the time. Because that's where we'll find and love ourselves and rebirth this new world and evolve our consciousness, evolve into new and incredible beings. But that starts with me, and it starts with you. I hope you have found this video to be valuable, and I hope that I haven't rambled on too much. But these are just my insights for the moment. I'm just going to quickly reflect back on that and just go through that in a quick overview. So we'll look at our old system and our old self. The old systems and constructs are falling down each and every day by the wayside. People are starting to try and grapple hold of this old system that is falling by, but we know that we are rebirthing a new world. Collectively, we are going through this phase of soul awakening, where each and every one of us is awakening to the world around us, starting to realize that it's not all is as it seems. As we go through that phase of soul awakening and more people are waking up every day, we start to realize then that we're in this phase of self-inquiry, where we're inquiring why the old systems are falling by the wayside and how we can rebirth this new world. But we're inquiring within what is right and what is true in an alignment with who we are as individuals and who we are collectively. Do we want to fall into a draconian way of living where we are under complete control and surveillance, or do we want to rebirth this new world where we're free and sovereign beings and we can all live our divine truth? and then we go through that next phase of transcendence, transcending our consciousness and awareness and stepping into this new world, but knowing that we've got this road of trials that we'll face, stepping stones that we'll have to cross each and every day as these old systems are being broken down, as we then come together in unity, in love and in oneness to create this new and beautiful world. Finally, we will start living collectively in alignment with our soul pathway as we work with Mother Earth, support nature, support the planet, and start to love one another. Thank you all for listening. Again, I hope you found it to be valuable. Please leave your questions and your comments in the comment section below, and I look forward to sharing another video with you very soon. And with that, I will say bye for now.